So welcome back to the channel again, following us on from the Jap Fest video and continuing with the Japanese theme. This is a highly modified DC5 Integra, owned by Josh here, who's kindly let me film the car on the channel. So
hello. Thanks,
Josh. So yeah, I mean, tell me a little bit about this car, the background of it.
Well, I've had two of these. This is the second one. This one's a bit different to the first one. I imported it last year. It arrived in August 2020, sorry. I drove it back from the importers and it sat on my drive for about 2 months, and then my friend and I just stripped it basically, and it went to have a full restoration on the underside. So the underside was media blasted. I basically just wanted to protect it. It wasn't supposed to go as far as it has.
Yeah.
I wanted to just, instead of underseal it like they do upon import, I just wanted to do it properly. So I had the engine bay, the underside blasted, fully raptured up in stone chip, painted championship white, and then it got a bit out of hand. I had the engine bay completely flush. We did a wire tuck on it, and now it's semi-tucked. Wasn't part of the plan, but I got talked into it and thought I might as well to make it a bit different. And it's come out quite nicely. So.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we did just attend Jap Fest, and the amount of attention it got for being one of the cleanest DC5s there was. Yeah. People were huddled around this engine bay.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's good to see, really. The process of doing it for 5 months or whatever it was quite stressful, to be fair. But you know, seeing the results of it and the appreciation it got, it made it worth it in the end. So it's going in for a full respray in December.
Not that you, I'll just say to everyone that's viewing the car, probably won't think it needs it because it does already look clean.
I mean, it is quite clean. Obviously, I had one owner in Japan. It came over and then I bought it, so it's not been run around too much. But after having the work done on it, it was very obvious to see how much of a bad job Honda do of finishing these cars.
Yeah.
So just to finish it off, I'm going to get it resprayed. There's a few parts that I'm not happy with. And there's nothing else it's going to do in the winter. It won't be driven in the winter, so I might as well go for the work and then be used next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's come out quite nicely, I think, so far.
It is a stunning car. And I mean, the highlight of it, I guess, is probably the engine, am I right?
Yeah, so the engine, I looked at, I mean, I had a stock K20 with just bolt-ons before, my old one, and it was fast, it was all right. You had to work for it a lot more, as all the Honda guys know. So I looked into a K24 Frankenstein Build. And luckily my friend Jason was braking his DC5 and he offered me the engine. So it's a K24A3 bottom end, high compression pistons, SCAT forged rods, all the block and has all been tended to. It was mapped by Jesse Halford at JCal. The only problem with it at the moment is the cylinder head is quite restrictive. It's a stock cylinder head with DC5 cams. If I wanted to get more out of it, I'd have to do the work on that. But at the moment, compared to a stock K20, it is better, in my opinion. It's just got more usable power out of a corner down low. You know, it doesn't rev as high and it sounds different. But it is more usable, shall we say.
Yeah.
The torque down low is just completely different to a stock K20, so it obviously looks the same to someone who doesn't know what they're looking at, but the drivability of it is different. I could boost it. I just don't want to. I've wanted to stay naturally aspirated. That's the whole point for Honda for me.
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
You know, the revs, the ability to use the gears, you know, just get more out of it that way rather than boosting it. That's my opinion, but
that's good. And what about the suspension?
So at the moment it's on, I basically check everything on the car is brand new, so I scrapped all the stuff that was originally on it. So it's got Meister R coilovers which need setting up properly. I've got a Geo session booked in October. That'll be for corner weighting and full suspension setup. I actually got Area Motorsports, like they do like a suspension package where they strip your hubs, wishbones, everything down, fully pulley bush them with some uprated suspension parts. Put that on. They powder coat them, make it look nice. What else is there? Anti-roll bars and stuff like that. I just stripped down and had all powder coated just to keep nice and neat. But in terms of that, there's not anything really that special with it.
Did you power flex any of the
Yeah,
bits?
so it's actually Super Pro bushes. So they're everywhere on the car. There's a few hard race rear trailing arm bushes on there, and hard race lower ball joints as well.
Okay.
And to be fair, I mean, it drives nicely. It's quite stiff, like because everything's brand new and not really worn in yet. It's quite rigid and stiff, but you know, I'm happy with it. It's fine.
So I mean, you could have had any car, but why did you choose the DC5?
I've wanted one since I was a child. I used to play a computer game, Need for Speed Underground, and there was an RSX Type S on this, and for some strange reason I just used that and I liked it. You know, I came from Renault Sport World, as you know.
Yeah.
I had 6 of those. You know, one of them was quite fast.
It was a 197 Meglio, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so
it was. Yeah,
197
197 Megane R26 engine swap. It was all right. I liked it. At the time, it was the fastest thing I could afford, and then I drove my friend's S2000. I gave him a load of stick for getting that because I was like, "Are you joking? Like, it's just an MX-5 sort of thing."
Yeah.
And I drove it, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is actually quite good." And I was short shifting in that, like you do. And he said, "Oh no, you can rev it to like 8.5, 9." And I was like, "Okay." And I did, and I was just like hooked on it from there, really.
Yeah.
And instead of getting one of them, I just was like, I can get one of these. So I did. I paid like nothing for my first one, and I loved it to bits. And did all the work on it, a lot of it myself, and then wanted to get a new one as like a fresh base and do it properly. So Scott and I did it with the new one.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it, to be fair.
For me, looking at this car, as a bit of a Honda newbie, to me this looks pretty much OEM, but I'm guessing from what you've said it's not completely standard in terms of the way it looks. So
in terms of the way it looks, they look all right from standard. They're quite striking anyway. They stand out on the road, but there's a few ways that I wanted to improve it. I put a genuine Ings front lip on the front. Just looks a bit more aggressive, shall we say?
Yeah.
I've got a genuine Ings rear bumper. I had that on my old car, and I kept it to put on this one. I think because I had the idea of having the underside painted white. It's a bit cut out, so you can see underneath more. That's me being a bit posh, but I'm posery.
Yeah, it works because when you're following the car, you can really see underneath it. So
that was the goal. I'm admitting that, but yeah. And then the bonnet is a Buddy Club one, which is quite uncommon. I've wanted one literally since I got my car, my first one. I never had one. I had a Mugen Rep, and this one came up, and I just had to have it because they're difficult to find, and they look all right.
It looks the business. Like I said, it looks pretty much OEM.
Yeah, so, it was like the goal was to get it as OEM plus as we can, like with the engine and stuff. I could have put any fancy colour rocker cover on it or anything like that, but I wanted to keep it sort of, you know, the Honda wrinkle red.
Yeah, which I think when you look at it like this sets off the interior, because the interior isn't standard, is it?
No, the interior's OEM plus again, if you like. The OEM seats are really comfortable, but I've got quite a bad back, and they sort of did irritate it sometimes. So I bought some Recaro pole positions. Nice. I've wanted some of them since, again, you know, I bought the car, but I just could never afford them. Got some of them. They're unreal. And to be fair, they're a lot lighter. They hug me more. They support my back a lot better. So, I mean, when we went up to Japfest and we were in the car for, I don't know, two hours, maybe 2.5 hours, I found them quite comfy. Yeah, they're very supportive. I mean, when I first got them, because the seat rails are quite low, I was like, oh, I'm not sure about this.
Yeah, you do sit fairly low, don't you?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know about this, but to be fair, you get used to it quite quickly, and just how they just hug you. I mean, I'm not a massive person, so they're just very supportive in a way. The goal at the end of the project, I will get a half cage, and I will have harnesses in there, but that's a bit of a way off. Yeah, I need to sort out some other stuff first.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I didn't know you were going that route, but that's nice.
I think a white cage in there with some decent harnesses will set it off quite nicely, because it's going to be used like every now and then, so it's not like it needs to be super practical. Yeah. So
nice. Okay. Well, why don't we get in the car?
Yep.
Take it for a spin.
Yeah, let's do it.
car looks pretty much, well, it doesn't look as old as it is. So what is it? It's a 2002 car.
Yeah, so it's a 2002 car. Yeah. I mean, the dashing, to be fair, is. I think Honda are ahead of their time personally with the styling of this car.
Massively, yeah.
And the interior. I mean, it's not new car sort of spec, but if you do look at Supras and Skylines, the interior, or Silvias, anything JDM from this era, the interior looks a bit. It does look dated.
Yeah. I think maybe that's, like you said, this is in terms of spec. So screen, sat nav, media player. This doesn't have that, but you've retrofitted the Pioneer, doubled in there. Yeah. But because of that, perhaps it's almost not aged as much. So if they had put loads of little buttons on it and stuff, it would have looked old. Whereas all you've got is these 3 dials for your aircon. Yeah. And then the actual speedometer itself looks pretty modern.
And like in the old car, I had an AFR reader, which was actually, you can buy like pods to go in the vent.
Okay.
And you can sit the gauge in there, which again is quite a cool feature. I don't have it in this car, but you can do. You can take these vents out and have a gauge just sat there.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it's mate. As far as analog dashes go, it looks good. This is where we get to
see if I can get past him.
Open it up. Well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I love that raw induction noise. Like you can't really match. Like a turbo car would never ever sound like this.
No. That's the thing. Is this? It might not be that fast compared to the turbo cars of today, but it's just raw. It's a driving car.
Yeah. And it sort of comes alive at when is it?
5,000. VTEC's at like 5. I think.
Yeah. You can hear it. I don't know if you guys can hear it on camera, but there's like an audible change in the way the car revs about now. Stops pretty well as well.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, that's. Oh, I like that. That gear is weird. It's nice though.
No, that's the wipers.
Oh, that's my wipers.
I knew you would do that.
That's the first thing. Probably indicated the wrong way as well. Steering's really, really nice and direct, which we like. There's no vagueness. Not going to boot off of it yet.
No.
So I'm in. What gear am I in? I'm in 4th now.
4th now, yeah.
Probably not where you want to be if you're in a... See what you mean about the camber?
Yeah.
I felt that then. Like,
yeah, it wants to do this.
Let's take those off. Yeah. We're in 5th gear, but it still pulls.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 5,000 RPM. The pickups, it's there.
Yeah.
Brakes feel nice, loads of feel in them.
Yeah, they're good. Like I said, yeah, without the ABS, you just get more direct feel from the pedal itself.
Yeah, I've done it again. I might as well comment on it. I've used the wipers about
6 times.
6 times since I've been in the car for all of 5 minutes, purely because they're on the left-hand side, where normally you'd find. Why is that, by the way? Why is
JDM?
Is
all
Japanese?
imported cars will have the indicator on the right-hand side.
Ah. Unfortunately, not long after this, the camera stopped recording, which means we were unable to wrap the video up on camera. Hopefully, what we did get on camera though showcases just how special this build is. The level of attention to detail that Josh has put into this car speaks for itself, and wherever it goes to any car show, it garners a lot of attention, and rightfully so. When modifying a car, there's a real temptation to go over the top, but what Josh has done here is make a great car even better, playing to the DC5 Type R's strengths, its iconic shape and its fantastic engine. As Josh has said, this is not the end of the build, it will continue, so make sure you give him a follow on Instagram, and thank you for watching this video.